Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Alexander Creek, astrologer and intuitive. Special hello to those of you listening to the audio-only version of this podcast. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure that you like, subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss an update from me. So, very busy month, especially for you, Sagittarius, because there's a lot happening in Gemini, your opposite sign. So, especially in this first half of the month. So, first of all, we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion and opportunity, going into Gemini, and that means it is going into your seventh house of partnership. So a little bit about Jupiter and Gemini. You might want to think about what was happening for you from June 2012 to June 2013. That might give you some insight about maybe what to expect with this transit, because that was when also it was the last time that Jupiter was in Gemini. So Jupiter is this planet of expansion and opportunity and wisdom, and it's also about blessings and opportunity. So like where Jupiter is moving through the sky is about where you can sort of find some opportunity. And Gemini, Jupiter and Gemini, it's very busy energy. And it's about like, I want to learn, I want to study, I want to try this thing, I want to be spontaneous, I want to go here, I want to do this, and I want to do that. And it's just very excitable energy. The thing is with Jupiter and Gemini is that you can really spread yourself too thin or try to do too many things. And while I think discovery and spontaneity and engaging the mind is really important during this, letting yourself do it, it's going to be square Saturn in Pisces the whole time it is in Gemini. So you, with this energy, Saturn wants to contain, it wants to build, and it's going to kind of constrain Jupiter a little bit. But also that could be a good thing, because this could be about reminding you to focus on a few priorities and set some goals and not just spread yourself too thin and kind of waste your efforts. So for you, it's going to be in your seventh house. Gemini energy, your seventh house is about partnership. It's about romantic connections and not just like flirty one night stands, but like actual relationships. This is business partnerships. This is platonic energy. This is like friendships, and anyone that you are in one-on-one connection with. That is what the seventh house rules. So Jupiter going into this part of your chart, this is Jupiter has just moved out of your health and work sector, where it was all of last year. For about 12 to 13 months. So maybe you've seen more expansion or more energy generally in your job. Maybe there's been more work for you. Maybe there's been more focus on sort of getting your health back and like getting, in health improvement, or just, more expansion in those areas. But now it's really shifting to partnership and collaboration with others. And there's going to be opportunities for you involving other people for the next year, essentially. So, again, whether this is like a professional collaboration, whether this is personal, the opportunities for you are going to be from others, essentially. So this kind of brings us to the new moon. The new moon that we are having on June 6th is in Gemini. So there is a new moon in this part of your chart. So this is a new beginning for you, a seed being planted in a new cycle that is connected to partnerships. And this sometimes can be like legal partnerships or contractual agreements as well, like the agreements that we make that are sort of legally binding. This can be that energy. It can also be, perhaps like a romantic connection that's becoming more solid and becoming more committed. This could be, platonic business, whatever it is. But again, it's sort of activating this Jupiter energy of like, the energy around you right now is about other people. It also may be if you have a committed partner, it could be that they're, having some opportunity. It may not necessarily be about you. But for the most part, it's about maybe like new relationships, essentially, or relationships that are going to offer you some sort of new opportunities. This energy too is very busy, very lively, very social. There's a lot going on in this Gemini energy: communicating, planning, exploring new information, curiosity, just a little like buzzy energy. But it is making this really precise square to Saturn, that planet of containment, of lessons, of mastery, of things that take a long time. It's hard, but it's worth it in the end. So there may be that energy of like, make sure you focus, like make sure you're building, like it's kind of may dampen that excitement a little bit, but I think in maybe a more constructive way. Saturn for you is actually in your fourth house of home and family, and has been there since March 2023. So maybe you felt more of this responsibility or burden or energy of that you have to focus on building your security, like building, like the things that are important to you in your most private life. So like building your security, maybe feeling that responsibility to family, maybe feeling responsibility to parents and just home and family, having this more kind of responsible, this energy that you can't get out of your obligations, essentially. But it's also maybe building your foundation. So when Saturn eventually gets into Virgo in about 14 years or so, that when it reaches there, that's going to be a time of really huge achievement. Like, in looking back on the things that you're building now, there's a connection with that. So again, Saturn has been in your fourth house, home and family. So there may be some sort of home and family type themes or obligations connected to this new moon. I also want to say that Venus is square Saturn as well. So you may be thinking about right now, like, is this relationship worth it? Is this person committing to me as much as I'm committing to them? What am I worth, essentially? Because Venus is very close to the sun and the moon right now, and it will be making that same aspect to Saturn. And Venus is a lot about value and worth in our relationships. And you might be asking these kind of tougher questions around the time of this new moon, about relationships and worth and value, and kind of, is it worth it, and how much is it going to take to make that pay off. So anyway, okay, let's move on. I was like, do I need to talk about anything else? No, I think we're good. So all right, so we also have Mars moving into Taurus on June 9th, and it will be in Taurus until July 20th. So that means for you, Mars is going to be moving into your sixth house, so of health and work. Mars is the planet of action and energy, how we assert ourselves, how we tackle our to-do list, and also how we approach conflict. So, Mars moving into that part of your chart, you might be more motivated to maybe take on more at work, maybe that you're fighting for more, or or that you're just feeling more motivated and have like a fire under your ass, relating to your job, your daily grind. Maybe this could be also about, like, I'm going to get my butt in the gym and get things going, right? This could be motivation and taking action. On the other hand, Mars can be inflammation and conflict. So I would watch conflict with coworkers, because you might be more prone to having conflicts with them when with Mars going into this part of your chart. And then also just make sure that you're taking a little extra care of your health, because sixth house can be bodily health kinds of things. So it can be like, I'm ramping up my activity and kicking ass. That it can also be that that you might actually find that you need to slow down a little, because Mars is a little slower in Taurus. It's more thoughtful and conservative in its actions. And I would just say keep an eye on health and don't overdo it. There's a delicate balance, I feel, here. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing with Mars and Taurus. Just action, energy, like heating up health and work things for you. But it could be if you're like, I need to like really get going with like finding a job, or picking up some slack at a job, or like getting into the gym and working on myself. This could be a good transit for you. So I want to take a moment here and talk about my class that I'm going to be teaching on June 12th at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm going to be talking about Venus in the birth chart. So you will learn about how the planet of love and pleasure in relationships comes alive in your birth chart, your own personal Venus. This is talking about your talents, like what delights you, what excites you, what you attract to you, what you're attracted to, in relationships and friendships, and otherwise. The life areas that she falls in for you. Maybe you're really good at attracting money. Maybe you're good at really attracting like romance or creative things, and also the life areas that she is in charge of in your chart. So we'll be looking at celebrity examples as well, and I'll be doing chart readings for people that come to my class. It just depends on time and everything there, but I'll definitely be getting to more than a few of them. So again, and my goal with this is to make astrology digestible and bite-sized. but also not teach you fluff, but teach you some good techniques and some really specific things so you can understand your own chart better, but also look at like, oh, if you're dating someone, look at their Venus or look at other people's birth charts as well. So again, June 12th, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. It'll be on Zoom, so it'll be online, so you can attend from anywhere. If you missed the recording, it will be sent to you. You can register at the link in the comments or in the show notes if you're listening to the audio version, or just email me and we can get that going for you as well. So speaking of Venus, Venus will be going into Cancer on June 17th through July 11th. It's moving from really social, really intellectual, like busy Venus and Gemini, moving into more nurturing, focused more on emotional security and meaningful connection in Cancer. So it's going to be about like our bonds with others and our clan and our feeling really heart-centered. And for you, Venus will be going into your 8th house. So this actually could be about a couple things for you. Venus tends to attract things to it to smooth over opportunities and to find pleasure. So it's moving into your 8th house of other people's money. This can be really good if you need to work on some financial things, if you are wanting to attract, or if you are wanting to attract some of your clients' money and like bring in some sort of freelance money. This is any money that is not directly in a paycheck to you. So this could be things going your way as far as like applying for refinancing or applying for credit or a loan, or it could be that you have access to some sort of family money right now because this is Cancer that we're talking about, and this is also the house of inheritance. And generally, anything like involving crowdfunding or financial aid, it's going to go better with Venus going through this part of your chart. This could also be a time to maybe explore some deeper psychological things because the 8th house is like our intimate, close bonds with others and the sort of psychic connections that we have with others as well. So this could be, frankly, a good time to study psychic development or meditation or things connected to that, or just to kind of take care of more of your mental health and to smooth over any bumps in the road when it comes to your intimate connections with others. So it's going to be in Cancer from June 17th through July 11th. So this brings us to our full moon of the month. We have a full moon in Capricorn on June 22nd. And this is an interesting full moon because it's a 2-part full moon, because we have a second full moon in Capricorn on next month, and that will be at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This one's at 1 degree. So it's almost like as soon as the sun goes into Cancer, we enter Cancer season, we have a full moon. And then we have a full moon at the end of the end of Capricorn because 29 degrees is a very special degree in astrology that's about finality and these like endings, and that is happening. And so it's almost like there is this 2-part story going on. The first part, this full moon, may bring up culminations and completion or release, news, awareness, or an area of focus. For you, this is going to be happening in finances. This could be maybe a change or an ending or something changing with sources of income for you. Maybe that you have to make some sort of expense or big purchase, or maybe there's a lot of energy looking at like your spending and your budget and that kind of thing. But again, there's a 2-part energy to this. So maybe there is because there's another full moon in this sign. So there's something going on with your expenses or your income and your cash. Maybe you're thinking about turning a skill or talent of yours into in monetizing it in some way. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying here. Okay. So, the other thing with this full moon I want to mention is Saturn, the planet of mastery, lessons, things that are hard but take a long time. It rules Capricorn, and it's going to be stationing retrograde about the time of this full moon. So it's basically stopped moving from our vantage point on the full moon, and then a week later it will officially go retrograde. So that means 2 things. It means number 1, it is going to pull focus, and we're really going to kind of notice that we're going to notice Saturn a little bit more. It's going to be a bit louder. So that means for you, I forgot where Pisces is for you. So Sagittarius. Oh, yeah. So you might feel that responsibility or commitment to things in home and family and security. Like those things may come up for you around this full moon because of where Saturn is in your chart. And it also And also that feeling of reviewing or going back over something and like just thinking about like, oh, am I accomplishing the things I need to accomplish? And just kind of re-looking at these areas. So for you, that'd be the home and family thing, but also finances and also your communication and mind space, because it also rules those houses for you as well. So it's a very multi-layered full moon, but I do feel the finances will come up and the home and family will come up as well. It doesn't have to be bad. Also, just that doesn't have to be bad, but it does feel like those themes are going to be more heightened in awareness for you around this full moon. So thanks again for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this, and hopefully it was helpful. Please leave a comment below with your rising sign and your big three, maybe what's going on for you or how this is hitting as you listen to it throughout the month. And if you're listening to the audio version, maybe just send me an email and let me know maybe what's going on for you as well. So thanks for listening, everybody, and a happy June and happy Gemini and Cancer season.